Hey everybody, Mr. Riedl here. Can you see me okay? It's a little dark out here. Alright, that's better. So I just realized that my last classroom update was about 3 months ago, and a lot has happened since then. So I wanted to give you an update on how the school year's been going. Ooh. In my last video, I was really positive and it seemed like everything was going really well and it was seeming to be like my best year ever. And since then, it's been going pretty good. I haven't been working as hard as I used to in the past, but at the same time, I could probably have not done certain things this year in order to, accentuate my perfectionism problem and working too hard with certain areas. But overall, I'm improving, and that's what's important, right? So I think what's been hardest this year is stuff that's happening outside of the classroom. You know, there's always ups and downs in the school year, and this year in the classroom it's been really awesome, and outside of the classroom it's been kind of a little tough. So, but I won't get into that. So it is Monday morning right now, and I am just checking my to-do list for things that I do regularly on Monday morning. And something that I've also done new this year is I have been letting kids eat in my classroom for lunch. Usually what I've done in the past is just send the kids down to the lunchroom to eat lunch, and I just say goodbye to them, and then that's my break time. But this year I got an idea from Mr. Reynolds on YouTube, and he lets kids eat in his room every day, to build relationships and get to know the kids better. And so far that's been going really well in my class. The kids really love being in here. They ask me every day if we're having lunch, and sometimes I have to say no because I have a meeting or something, but usually I do, and it's been really good. So what I've been doing is every Monday I've been stocking this. I've been keeping napkins and silverware for them in case they need it. And I think I'll go down and get some more. I got permission from the ladies who work here for lunch, and I talked to them, make sure that everything's okay with them for having students in my classroom during lunchtime, and they said, oh yeah, that's just fine. They really appreciate, what I'm trying to do with getting to know the kids better and building relationships, and they're really supportive. Something that they do downstairs during lunchtime is they help them clean the tables and wipe them down and clean up the floor if there's any messes. They have like a regular rotation for the students to help out. And so if my kids are up here in my classroom and they are assigned to be on the rotation that week for cleaning up the classroom, then I just need to make sure that I communicate that to them, that they need to go down and help out. I just make sure to be communicative with them, and everything's good. But yeah, they've been really supportive, and it's been awesome so far. All right. Some extra silverware. Hey, buddy. In regards to my fish, I'm a little worried about this guy. Not like really worried, but just a little worried because he's starting to get some growth on his face. And I've been cleaning regularly, and I've been talking to one of my students. One of my students actually breeds betta fish for fun at home, and so she's been coming to me and talking to me about how he's doing and trying to help me to make sure that everything's good. And she actually went and got the water checked to make sure that the pH levels were good, and the water has been good. So we're just trying to make sure that we're doing the best we can in order to keep him healthy. So I think he's doing okay. He just looks a little old, so I don't know if maybe it's his time or not, but it wouldn't be the first time that my fish has died. Senor Pez is going to hopefully last as long as he can. Last year he lasted the whole year without dying, and all my students were really excited about that because that's the first time that that's ever happened. But this year I may not be able to say the same thing. In the past we've had little ceremonies for our classroom pet when the pet dies, and I involve the Pez dispensers. Here's a picture of that for what I did in the past, and it was, I don't want to say it was a lot of fun because it was kind of sad at the same time, but memorable, I guess you could say that, memorable. Alright, so classroom updates. So in my last video I was talking about the avocado seed, and nothing happened. So what I think happened is that something happened to the seed. So the avocado pit that I had 3 months ago, it should have been like grown by now. It should have been like a full-on tree at this point if I had the same seed, but it didn't sprout any roots at all, and I'm not really sure why. This is a new one. I put in a new avocado seed because the other one like turned black and it didn't crack along the seed like it was supposed to. But this one, what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the water line is up a little bit higher than it was with the other one. I think with the other seed, the water level got down, even though I had students responsible for making sure the water line's up. Sometimes they maybe didn't fill it as much as it needed. So I don't know. Hopefully this will work, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll give you another update later when it actually starts sprouting roots. So we'll see how it goes. One of my students' parents wanted to contribute to the class. I already had these 3 stools, but he said he wanted to contribute in some way, and I said, well, my green stool table was just a collapsible plastic table with kind of a rough surface on it. It wasn't very good for drawing art and stuff. This is nice and smooth. This is nice and smooth. This is more of a typical classroom table with a smooth finish and smooth wood finish on the top. So, I said, would you be willing to purchase a table for us? Because he wanted to help out by giving us something for the school year. And he said, yeah, that's great. And so he found this online, and he purchased it for us, and it's an awesome table. I love the colors, the red and then the black, with the red legs here go with the black legs on those tables really well, and it matches our school colors, so it's really awesome. It was an awesome gift, and we really appreciate it. This is a great table. So speaking of tables, I made a standing table video over the summer and how to make a standing table based off of this table, and it's been really sturdy. The kids sit on it during certain activities when we play games in class, and it's held up really well. It hasn't shown any signs of falling apart or anything, so I'm really happy with how it's been going, and so there's just a little update about that. In my last video I talked about how I was going to be starting up a classroom economy, and I did start it up, and it's been going well. Kind of a few bumps along the way, nothing too bad, but overall it's been going really well. So this is new. I put this on my website, Mr. Riedl's Classroom Economy, and bonus money opportunities, fine list, and you can see I did use some whiteout here because I changed certain things based on how the things that the students did and how they did with certain items, and then bankers and clients. So I have the banker team right here, and the banker team keep records of all the money that the students are keeping track of, and so since I have it digital based and I have an online banking system that's just pretend money, they log in and they take care of all the deposits and the withdrawals, and making sure that the students are managing themselves well with what they're supposed to do with the fines and bonus money. But something that I realized when I was giving them job duties is that they weren't doing enough, and that's something that I'll probably have to do over Christmas break, is adjust it slightly so that they have more responsibilities. I'm thinking about making a checklist so that they have certain duties that they need to do each week in order to make sure that they're earning their money. They're actually they make the most money out of all the kids in the class. That the bankers and the fine officer, they all make the most money out of everybody in the whole class, and I just want to make sure that they're earning their keep, right? And I'm planning on making a video on how this all works, but not yet. Not until I get more established with my routines and how I pay them and how they're fined, and so all the details just need to be ironed out a little bit more before I make a video. Probably next year I'll make a video, if it goes as well as it has been going this year. I just want to make sure all the kinks are out before I present it to you guys. So something that has been a lot more fun than expected were our auctions. We do monthly auctions in order for them to spend the money that they earn, and that has been a lot of fun. The kids get so into it, and I try to do my auctioneer voice. Sometimes I stumble over the words, but the kids don't care. They just want to buy the stuff. So far, the highest selling item that has been purchased was a can of fake snow. And the fake snow, where you spray it on the bottom of the windows and it makes it look like there's snow on the windows, that sold for like, I can't remember exactly, $700 or $800 just for that can. It's pretty funny what certain items the kids really, really want and are like going up as high as they can with using all the money that they have just to purchase that one item. It's pretty hilarious, but hopefully they'll learn along the way that $800 for a can of snow is not the wisest choice. But just this last month, I had 2 students that actually purchased their lockers. Since we don't really have desks in here, in other classroom economies, I've seen a lot of other teachers have students rent their desks and pay rent on them. But since I don't have desks and I didn't want to deal with the seating because it's all different, I just decided to have them pay rent on their lockers instead, because they all have to have a locker out in the hallway, and it just kind of makes sense that their locker is theirs and they are borrowing it for the school year, so they're paying rent on their lockers instead. I had 2 students that actually purchased their lockers for $3,000 each, and so now they're reaping the benefits of not having to pay rent. And I just informed them that they can actually buy other students' lockers too, and then have their rent payments go to them. And they're like, oh really? Ooh, wow, what could I do with this? And so this is a good learning experience for them, and whether or not they decide to buy somebody else's locker, that'll be up to them. So we'll see. It's been going well so far. I've been enjoying it. Something that's been a real time sucker for me in the past has been grading, and I know many teachers struggle with finding time to grade papers and things, and something I mentioned that I learned last year was to cut back and keep things simple, and that's been going really well because I have been much more disciplined in only grading things that I think are of importance, rather than wasting my time with a whole bunch of paperwork. Sometimes just putting a stamp on it, letting the kids know that I appreciate the practice that they did, but I'm not going to grade it. That's been really helpful. And I've had an instructional aide who's been helping me with grading. This is my little grading station over here, and that's been really helpful. She and I have been working together to make sure that everything has been graded is worthwhile and not a waste of time, and so far I haven't needed to ask for any parent volunteers to help me grade because we've been getting it all done, which is huge because that is what allows me to go home on time and not have to grade at home. I haven't been taking very many papers home. Sometimes I have to take certain things home, but for the most part I'm free when I go home, and I don't, maybe I just have to check emails and that's it. So for the most part, when I'm at home, I am mentally at home, and that is the important thing. So being able to delegate that to her and have us work together on that, and rather than me just trying to do everything myself, that has been huge and a big weight off of my shoulders, and a weight off of Jen's shoulders too, because several years ago, I would bring papers home and I would ask Jen to help me grade. And that is definitely not helpful for a marriage, and definitely not what she wants to do in the evenings when she's been, chasing kids around all day. So that's something that I'm glad to have as a memory in the past. That's been good. The last thing that I wanted to mention was my organizational area back here. I've gotten some questions in the past about how I organize my binders and what I put in my classroom binder, and stuff about my desk area here, and that's something that I do plan on doing a video on in the future, is talking about my sub plans and how I get things ready for my substitute. So I'll probably do a quick video on that sometime soon. As you can see, I still have piles over here. This stuff is mostly for the auction though. That's coming up this week. At the end of the week I have an auction, but the piles of paperwork that I used to have here are no longer there, so that's good. So I just need to figure out a place to put all this stuff for the auction, because I don't really have any spaces. I do have back here, I have storage space under here, these cabinets here, but the cabinets are all full, and these cabinets up here are all for like teaching materials and manipulatives and stuff like that. But I think maybe I just need to go through these cabinets in order to clear some more space out so that I can put the auction items over there before we auction them off. Because I have my students bring in items for the auction that is just stuff that they have at home that they don't want anymore, and what is one person's trash is another person's treasure. And so far some great items have been resold because they brought them in because they didn't want them at home anymore. So like a mini pool table, that has gone as an auction item. So what was one kid's old toy is now another kid's new toy, and that was another fun auction too. So anyway, I'm thinking about doing a classroom tour video, but different than just a whole classroom tour. With my classroom tour, I just briefly went around the whole classroom and talked about everything all in one video. I'm thinking about doing a short series of videos that are like classroom tour but more in depth. So like maybe it would be like a classroom tour of my area behind my desk and how I organize myself there. Another classroom tour video might be what's in my cabinets. How do I store my things? I have another video about my classroom library, but maybe I would go more in depth of what books do I choose, and how do I organize my classroom library based on the books that kids like to read. Another video might be how do I store my school supplies in this area. So maybe like short segments of classroom tour videos that are more in-depth. So if you're interested in that, please comment and let me know, and I'd be happy to do that. Something I've been really wanting to do is a video about my workstation here. I have dual monitors here, and I also have a switch back here that switches between Chromecast and the projector and the document camera, and I absolutely love my workstation here, how I display videos onto the projector and use that during my teaching in order to best use my technological skills and my my knowledge for teaching the kids through video. That's something I use like every day, is this second screen, and it has become so useful to be able to display that on the board while I can still be running stuff here. And anyway, I'll get into that more later, but because I absolutely love this, and I don't know why more teachers don't use dual screens, because oftentimes, like this screen right here, this was just collecting dust in the workroom, and I brought it in and I hooked it up, and it worked really well. And there's a whole bunch of old monitors that some schools just have that are collecting dust. And even if it was like one of those big fat monitors, I'd still use it because it's that advantageous to me with how I teach and my teaching style. So anyway, all right, I'm kind of rambling now. 7:04 right now, and I need to get ready for the day. It's Monday, and it's the last week before Christmas break, and it's a 4-day week. We don't have school on Friday, and I'm excited. Not just because it's a 4-day week, not just because it's almost Christmas break, but I'm excited because I'm doing these videos again. And I am excited because I get to teach. And I was watching Darren's video, Darren Nakakihara, I think I said that right, and he reminded me that we get to teach. And he reminded me how fun it is to teach. And even just thinking about how to present the material to the students is fun when you have the right intentions and when you have the right heart for it. Teaching should be fun. And because all these 10 and 11-year-old fifth graders that are in my class, they don't want a boring teacher to be up in front of them. Like, all of the things that I got as feedback from the student-led conferences is that the kids love being in this class because it's fun, and that's what they really want. They want to have fun, and I just need to keep reminding myself of that. And so yeah, I'm gonna have fun this week. I hope you guys have fun too, and I hope you make it a good one. So, all right, I gotta get ready. All right, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bye.